Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Corsace Open Knockout Round 1. We are back with another single elimination matchup between two of the best teams in the tournament. It is WROETOSHAW versus STARBOUND. WROETOSHAW having not played a match yet, getting the bye all the way to Knockout 1, being top 8 in the tournament from qualifiers. STARBOUND making it here from the round robin, first seed in their group, and winning both of their matchups in the runoff stage to get a good matchup here in the knockout stage. I'm Dio. I'm joined by Miles for this match between two of the strongest teams that we have here in the Corsace Open.
Hey Dio, and I'm really excited to see how this match goes. I think both these teams are really strong. WROETOSHAW being rank 3 in terms of BWS rank, and STARBOUND being rank 10 in the tournament. So obviously you have two very hard, heavy-hitting matchups. But I think we're going to see some differing strategies from the two of these teams, especially based on some of these strong players on both rosters. Obviously looking at players like Badu on Team WROETOSHAW and Digital Hypno on Team STARBOUND. Going to see how they perform for both these teams. But obviously, this round has a bit of a different format from some of the other rounds. We have 3 different map pools, some of them with some differing themes in how they play. We've seen Pool A really focus on aim control, Pool B on mechanics, and Pool C just being a little bit more balanced. Dio, what do you think these teams are going to go for?
Well, we were talking about this before the match, right? So we already know what we both think these teams are going to go for. When you compare the rosters for these teams, you see players like Bartek, Crescento, Eternum, Rudge on the side of WROETOSHAW. And those are all really, really good mechanics players, very good speed players as well in the case of Bartek, Crescento, and Eternum. Rudge, no slouch at that skill set either. Whereas for STARBOUND, you really have like Jackson Emlaw for speed. Cappy can play it, Digital Hypno can play it, but that's not what those players are best at. And so I think a lot of this matchup will rest on A, how well STARBOUND is able to take breakpoints on some of those speed maps, and B, the initial bans for both of these teams potentially determining the winner of the first match. STARBOUND probably banning out Pool B. And if you look at the STARBOUND roster, you see, again, Digital Hypno, Araxi, Nope, KJK, and Cappy, all very good no-mod control players. So even though WROETOSHAW's roster on those types of maps is actually very, very strong, we both kind of expect them to ban out Pool A from the side of WROETOSHAW, ban out Pool B from the side of STARBOUND, and end up on Pool C. We'll see where they actually go for this first set. For those who are just catching their first match today, you can see below both team names wins and sets indicated by the empty bars there. We use a set system here in the knockout round 1. Teams will play up to 3 best of 7s between each others. And we actually did call the opposite of what they banned. They both banned Pool A and B, but WROETOSHAW banned Pool B and STARBOUND banned Pool A. So we're still playing Pool C anyway. But a little ironic there. Thought process maybe reversed, maybe WROETOSHAW not wanting to play some of the more aim mechanics focused maps in Knockout 1B, and STARBOUND not wanting to let, for example, Badu and Crescento and Badu, Rudge, Plasma on some of the aim control picks, because that is still a very scary roster on a lot of the aim control maps in Knockout 1A.
Yep, and there's a pick that you actually mentioned before this match, Dio, being protected by STARBOUND. Then Nomad 4 in Pool C, this low AR, low star rating map where I think STARBOUND, especially on their top 3 for reading, is going to be able to put up a really good score on that. And it's going to be Nomad 1 as the protect from WROETOSHAW. That is pretty standard in terms of Nomad 1 from what we see in tournaments. But yeah, as you were mentioning, this WROETOSHAW roster just has a lot of firepower, lots of top tourney players that are going to be really good at a lot of different skill sets. And that, I think, really, when it comes to STARBOUND, their pick strategy is going to be very difficult because a lot of the time they have good players for these maps, but you look at the WROETOSHAW roster, you just say, wow, these players, you're going to have to go up against like Rudge on aim and Plasma on reading with Badu, and the speed is going to be really hard as well. So it's going to be difficult here. Nomad 3 going to be banned out by STARBOUND. That is a tech speed map. Makes a lot of sense. WROETOSHAW speed roster, extremely strong. But I'm not really sure what WROETOSHAW goes for their ban here.
Yeah, that Nomad 3 is almost like Nomad 6 style, but in the form of like Devious Panda Last Words rather than some of the earlier Nomad 6s like Sputnik, where it's all about finger control. That one, like you said, a lot of speed built into that map, so even your typical aim control players are going to struggle quite a bit to combo it well, ack it well. As for ROETOSHAW, I feel like with the Nomad 4 Protect from Starbound, maybe they actually end up banning the Hidden 2. They could also, if they were kind of wary about Pool B because of some of the aim control. Nope, they're just going to ban out the Hidden 2, which I think is fine. They have a really good reading roster on the side of ROETOSHAW, but I think reading is one of the biggest strengths of the Starbound roster anyway, so you ban that out, you ban out a power pick for the other team rather than something you're necessarily bad at, and I think it's a good strategy going into some of these matches, especially given that this team outside of the Hidden 2, the Nomad 4, doesn't really have a clear weakness on Pool C. Like, they have a good enough speed roster to deal with stuff like the DT2. They have more than a good enough aim roster to deal with picks like, obviously, the Nomad 1, the Hard Rock 1. And there's a lot of picks in this pool that I think are generally solid for them, even if Starbound does have a good roster for those picks. So ROETOSHAW, I think, with a relatively smart ban there. The first pick, though, I'm really not sure of. They could obviously go for the protected Nomad 1, but I think most teams like to save that protect for match point to be able to close it out cleanly.
Mm-hmm. I think Pool C also has a lot of accessible maps, I think, compared to Pools B and A. I think all the maps in Pool C are really accessible in that you're not really going to see anything like that Hidden 2 from Pool A, where it's just like, you can't really expect anyone other than Badoo to be able to actually play that map well. And here's the HR1 going to be the first pick from ROETOSHAW. This map is just very large aim all the way through. Typical for, I think, more of the old style Hard Rock 1 that we've seen in the meta for a couple of years now. Just very Hard Rock 1 core, to say the least.
It's aim consistency with some light flow aim and streams in it. It is 200 BPM, so some players may struggle with the tapping, Badoo, but I think it's still a pretty good pick for ROETOSHAW. They have more than enough good Hard Rock aim players to where I think even if Badoo breaks on one of the streams, it's probably not going to impact them all that much. It's a very, very good aim mechanics pick for them. So yeah, not a lot to say about that one, especially since the mechanics players on Starbound tend to be known more as speed players, a la Jackson and MLaw, than they do as Hard Rock aim players, for example. MLaw definitely with a lot of experience on Hard Rock aim picks and Hard Rock in general, but not necessarily known for them the same way that he is on Hard Rock streams, for example, and especially Jackson is much more of a speed player.
And a strategy starts to come to light here for ROETOSHAW picking that HR1. Looks like they're going to be picking into aim all this match. When you protect Nomad 1 first and pick Hard Rock 1 first, it becomes a little bit obvious. Yep, looks like teams are getting their rosters set in the lobby. Probably expect to see Rudge, Eternum, Crescento +1 for ROETOSHAW. Probably Badoo because it's large aim. Few streams in there, but should expect him to be fine. For Starbound, probably going to be seeing Jackson, MLaw, Digital Hypno, probably Cappy. Yep, here they are. It's like I got these rosters completely correct. Yep. Straight on into it. Weenie Walker, mapped by Nozuchi.
Bit of depth of roster coming out for ROETOSHAW as Crescento actually taking the place of Plasma on a map like this. Maybe not the first player you expect to see in on it, but Crescento also a very, very good mechanics consistency player. Usually shows up for Team Florida in the United States Cup. Hasn't been on the USA OWC team yet, but is still an up-and-comer in the USA tournament scene in general. As I say that, he's missed several times now at the start, but doesn't really matter for ROETOSHAW, as Cappy, MLaw, and Digital Hypno have all followed suit. Eternum, Badoo, and Rudge still on the three-way full combo for ROETOSHAW.
Yeah, just out of the beginning, looking a little bit more comfortable as ROETOSHAW. They've got a lot of map to go. Map is fairly long, nearly 4 minutes in length, I believe, so tons of map to go. Into the first big jumps, you're going to see Crescento drop. It doesn't really matter since he already did break. Digital Hypno is going to trade it away. It's up to the combos for Starbound to hold on here, but Jackson and MLaw to find the top because there are two of the big combos gone, and ROETOSHAW with 3 FCs in the first PI, make that 2 FCs. Still going to be able to run this lead out very far.
Yeah, even with the break from Eternum, it's looking pretty doomed already for Starbound here. Two-way full combo still intact for ROETOSHAW, and nobody with over 200 combo on the side of Starbound right now. Everyone breaking in that PI time. So, bit rough to start things out. MLog going to trade away another break. Cappy going to trade away yet another. Digital Hypno for a third one once again. It's just Jackson with about 250, 270 combo versus the two-way FC. Crescento on a better recovered combo, and Eternum almost matching Jackson's combo right now. Did we say ROETOSHAW was a mechanics team yet? Because I don't know, it seems pretty obvious at this point, right? Badoo will break on the streams here, though. As I said before the map starts, I don't think it really matters all that much. It's funny anyway, but I don't think it really actually matters all that much. Rudge still on the full combo, and there's more than a 350,000 score lead right now for ROETOSHAW, so there's not a lot that anyone on Starbound can actually do, even in spite of more breaks from ROETOSHAW, Rudge dropping the FC, everyone dropping their combos on that team, but it's just Digital Hypno with, never mind, it's nobody. Ain't nobody got combo right now. It's 400k the lead for ROETOSHAW.
Yeah, the spacing on these jumps are absolutely huge. They're catching out everybody. Nobody is immune, even Badoo. Though he's clearly having more trouble on the streams. Watch his cursor right now, dropping many, many hundreds. But yeah, the rest of this pick is really going to be a formality when it's 400k in the lead with a quarter left and no combo on Starbound. There's really nothing they can do at this point. Just watch ROETOSHAW run away with this lead. Four 300 combos coming up with high accuracy on 3 of them. It's a good first pick for ROETOSHAW.
Yeah, very solid. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to commentate right now. It's a 400,000 lead and growing. Crescento's going to miss. It's not going to matter. There's a quarter of the map left and not nearly enough combo on Starbound to stage any kind of a comeback right now. Even with the misses there from the tournament Rudge, they're matched by Jackson and MLaw. Badoo the only combo remaining right now for ROETOSHAW versus 2 on the side of Starbound. And unless like everybody stops playing on ROETOSHAW right now, there's no way of a comeback. So what do you think the next pick is? What do you think the next pick is, Miles? It's a pretty convincing first pick on the aim mechanics from ROETOSHAW. So probably not another aim mechanics map. That said, I think the only one really left in the pool is No Mod 1. You can't take this strategy very far when the pools are only 10 maps and it's a best of 7.
I think for Starbound here, the picks instantly become dicey just based on how good ROETOSHAW is, but I think they might instantly go for their No Mod 4 Protect, which is a strategy that you typically see from underdog teams in matchups like this, where you really need to get momentum as quickly as possible. So just getting that protected pick out of the way just so you can get that point on the board might be really important for the Starbound roster. But other picks that I think could maybe go their way in the future, I think you might think I'm crazy. I think DT1 might be a good pick and the hidden one for Starbound going into the rest of this set.
I can agree with that. A DT1 in this pool is not your typical DT1. It is 150 BPM after double time and is really kind of all just awkward aim overlap stuff at AR 9.7 after DT. So it's not a typical DT aim map at all. It's a very, very old style map. Vinxis mapped this before he was named Vinxis. So it's a very different style of map from usual. And Hidden One is effectively, I believe that's still alt style, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't think that's just basic aim.
It is. It's a Defiance map.
Swing. That's the swing map in this pool. So a lot of aim control there as well.
And it is going to be the Hidden One pick for Starbound. So the aim control swing map going to be their first pick. I think they're going to have a very good roster for this, but likewise with ROETOSHAW. For Starbound, definitely going to be looking at Digital Hypno and Nope KJK for their side to probably pull it forward. But obviously on ROETOSHAW, you have the beast that is Badoo, who has just reigned over the tourney scene for the last 3 years on this style of beat map. And his effect on the outcome of this map, I think, cannot be understated.
Yeah, this is 110 BPM, so effectively 165 when you account for the swing rhythm. Very odd groupings due to swing rhythm as well, but if you're good on the aim control and you can handle the 3-4 timing instead of the usual 4-4 timing that you see on maps like this, you're going to be in good shape. It's pretty much what you expect from a typical Nomad 3, I think, except for the guitar solo, which is just absurd spacing compared to a lot of the rest of the patterns in this map. And of course, because it's swing, you tend to get smaller groupings rather than these long alt chains that you typically find the higher star rating alt maps you get. So something that is, I think, very good for Starbound is that you're not going to have these really ridiculous long alt chains until the very end of the map. And that's kind of where Badu reigns supreme, is in those types of longer extended patterns, very flowy, very, very difficult to deal with. But for a lot of the players on the side of Starbound, I think the smaller note chains are going to be very, very helpful here. Very likely to see just Digital Hypno, Araxi, and Nope KJK Cappy on this. I don't think we're seeing Jackson or Emlaw come in for the hidden one.
Another thing to note, this is a Defiance map. Defiance, longtime Corsace mapper, has been really known for these extremely difficult aim control maps. And despite this being a swing map, the aim control is going to be probably the secondary skill set you're going to be seeing these players struggle with. And we're going to be seeing the rosters now. Rudge going to be the fourth for WROETOSHAW, and Cappy going to be the fourth for Starbound. I think looking at both these rosters, the fourth player on this type of map is really going to make a lot of the difference, because both teams have three really good reading gimmick players, but then the fourth kind of falls off really far for both of them. So you're going to have to keep an eye on Cappy and Rudge, see how they do on this style of map.
Early pick for Plasma on the side of WROETOSHAW. Not a lot to say otherwise. Everybody handling these smaller note chains just fine so far, though we haven't really gotten into the map yet. And Plasma's break not going to matter all too much because it's within the first 150 combo or so. Another break comes through for Rudge. Nope, KJK and Cappy going to match the early two breaks from WROETOSHAW. So Raxane Digital Hypno versus Badu and Bartek right now. And everybody else still holding after those initial breaks. So combo lead to WROETOSHAW with Plasma on a little bit of a better combo than either Cappy or Nope KJK. Struggles in the accuracy department, though, for a couple of players. Araxi Plasma in particular having a bit of trouble with the accuracy, and very, very good app in particular for Bartek and Badu. I think to be expected of tournament veterans who have played the style of map over and over again through the years at this level.
Rudge finding another drop. Araxi and Digital Hypno need to hold with all they have right now, because the combos on the side of WROETOSHAW are equalizing any efforts they have right now. There goes Bartek. That's one of the full combos gone for WROETOSHAW. Lead is now going to slowly go back in favor of Starbound. They need to just get through the rest of this chorus first with all the combos intact. And all the combos are intact. Cappy holding all the way up at 450 combo, I think. A little bit unexpected, but very good for Starbound. Rudge to find another drop as well into that solo section you mentioned before, and it's a full combo reset for Starbound. God. Tragedy has struck, and now WROETOSHAW 40k, 50k lead going into the ending. No combos on Starbound, but the accuracy advantage for WROETOSHAW that is going to be looking like an early breakpoint for them.
And Bartek was actually able to hold through that section for a little while too. He broke right at the end of it, right before the slow part. So a little bit of extra combo during the hard part of the map went over to WROETOSHAW, maybe keeping some of the score on their side as well. Another reset for Digital Hypno. And the problem for Araxi is, even though he had that massive combo, he's down at 350k, below Nope KJK. Because of that accuracy, he's on 88%, 87% right now, and it's not getting any better. More misses to come out from Cappy, Rudge, Bartek, Araxi, Digital Hypno. It's Nope KJK versus Badu and Plasma, and it seems, Miles, like this one's going to go to WROETOSHAW as well. Score lead going up from about 80k right at the end of the solo to 200k now by the end of the map. And it was looking close on this first pick for Starbound, but WROETOSHAW able to win it over anyway due to, honestly, a lot higher accuracy just in general. And unfortunately, the high combos for Starbound not able to convert as easily on those higher combos, because again, you know, the best high combo score you had is Digital Hypno. Well, Nope KJK is almost right there. Bartek, Badu have over 97% accuracy on their high combos, so they're much more easily able to win a lot of score over to the side of their team. And when you have a lot of breaks in maps like that, it's when the accuracy starts counting. When everyone is breaking all the time, combo starts to matter less and less. Accuracy starts to matter more and more. And well, WROETOSHAW able to win it out, I think, due in large part due to the accuracy from their team.
And that's a lot of why WROETOSHAW, I think, is really favored in this matchup, because The difficulty on average in the map pool compared to the last few map pools is just skyrocketed up at mid 7 stars on a lot of these maps. And with the really high skill cap on ROETOSHAW, they're going to be almost reliably getting higher accuracy on just about every map in all 3 of these map pools. So going to have to really rely on the big combos to come out from STARBOUND if they want to have any chance in this matchup. But obviously down a breakpoint early, when the sets are only 4 points, that is not where you want to be. But now pick back to ROETOSHAW. Gonna see if they just go for that Nomad 1 now to get that 3rd point on the board because they already have the break point. But I feel like they could go a lot of different places in this pool. The DT2 also open, I believe they're gonna have a massive advantage on. And maybe something like the Nomad 2 as well if they're feeling it, but that Nomad 2 is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's still pretty good for STARBOUND, though, if they do want to end up going with it. For now, though, we're going to get into the Nomad 1 for ROETOSHAW. This one is, well, pretty similar to the Hard Rock one that we already saw. It's a little higher BPM, 214 BPM, 7.2 stars as opposed to the 7.44 stars on the Hard Rock one. So a little bit more consistency focused, a little bit higher BPM, a little bit lower jump spacing, but still very, very similar in composition. Mostly jumps and bursts with a couple of longer streams here and there sprinkled throughout the map. A test of aim consistency for the most part with a little bit of burst consistency here and there. Not a lot else to say about this. This is one of the most comfortable maps in any of the map pools at all. And yeah, collab between Nakano Itsuki and Captain, a couple classic aim mappers. Nakano Itsuki, I think better known as Star Sticks from back in the day.
This is very Nomad 1 core to condense everything you just said into a single word. So if you've seen a Nomad 1 in a tournament in the last 3 years, you can expect to see a similar thing in this map. So the Nomad 1 aim going to be coming out, 2nd aim pick in a row for ROETOSHAW. Going to be Eternum Rudge, Badu, and Crescento against Jackson, Cappy, Nope KJK, and MLaw. So I think one of the key matchups that I noted for this, I guess, full match is the mechanics players on STARBOUND. I think if they want to be able to win this match against ROETOSHAW, they really needed to be able to take break points on the general mechanics picks. Talking mostly about Cappy, MLaw, and Jackson. Going to be needing to see some huge performances from them if they want to be able to stay alive in this set.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I feel like you're going to be hard pressed to win speed in particular against ROETOSHAW. So if you're going to take these breakpoints, it kind of needs to be on some of the aim mechanics. That said, with Pool B banned out by ROETOSHAW in the first round, maybe STARBOUND just goes for that pool instead and picks into some of those speedier maps. Lets Jackson and MLaw try to carry them. That said, Jackson, Cappy, MLaw all breaking here at the start of the first KI time. It's only Nope KJK left for STARBOUND already, compared to 3 FCs, and only Crescento having broken twice now. Rudge will break. Turnham will also drop here at the end of the first KI time, and that's Badu versus Nope KJK. Neither of these players are particularly fast. Nope KJK is kind of similar into Badu, that he's a very good reading player, good aim player, not a very good speed and stream player. So I feel like we're going to see pretty similar scores out of these two players. A little bit higher accuracy for Nope KJK right now, and it's really all on him to carry this point at the moment. MLaw does have a little bit of supporting combo for STARBOUND, but there goes Nope KJK. Misses on a random jump in the middle of the map, the exact middle, and even with that kind of high accuracy, if you're not matching the FC from Badu, there's not really much of a point to high ac. And, well, the longer Badu holds, the better this gets for ROETOSHAW, the worse it gets for STARBOUND, staring down the barrel of a 3-0 top seed.
I was gonna say Nope KJK versus Badu. That's something you maybe expect to see on like a very difficult Nomad 6 or a Hidden 2, but on the Nomad 1, both of them holding for the longest. And now into the last third of the map, it's only Badu on the massive combo. Everyone else down in the dumps. Only MLaw at around 600 combo to try to respond for STARBOUND, which he'll actually be able to if Badu does find a break. We're gonna have to see here during this guitar solo, but there goes MLaw. Now all of the combos are gone for STARBOUND, and Badu still holding on to the FC. He's just going to be able to run this one into the ending. The sneaky good aim player, Badu. I feel like I never expect him to do... Oh, okay, I say sneaky good.
I don't know if I call him sneaky good.
Sneaky good.
Like,
okay, sorry.
Be real here for a moment.
Yep. Sneaky good Nomad 1 player is what I meant. You never expect him to be the top scorer on these like 200-ish BPM Nomad ones, but he just comes in every year. Corsace Open, any big tournament, you throw him in the difficult Nomad one, and he's going to hold a big combo. 214 BPM streams don't bother him as much as they used to. He does finally find the slider break, but at 750k scored, being double basically the average score in the lobby, he's going to be the top score on this one by a ton. And once again, Badoo showing up for WROETOSHAW to take that 3rd point for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this map is just very good for Badoo because Star6 and Captain decided not to put any streams in this. It's just all triples and quints the entire way through the map. So the only place he can break is on a random jump, and shows off the aim consistency he's built over the years. At one point was in the conversation for one of the best aim players in the world. I think has kind of fallen out of conversation for that skill set recently, but is still a carry player in tournaments like Aim Cup, where you can just take relax, not have to tap, and just focus on aim. And obviously is one of the best aim control players in tournament, so definitely still has the skill and is able to show it off on that map. Next best score in the lobby is 565k from Eternum and 525k from Nope KJK. Just not nearly enough from Starbound to be able to take that point, as Badoo showing him how it's done. Eternum not too far behind, and now Starbound set point for WROETOSHAW. Again, this is a best of 3 sets, each set being a best of 7 played on different map pools. And Starbound going to bring out the protected pick, the Nomad 4. When you are down at match point, this is definitely what you want to bring out. The pick you protect that you think is your strongest pick in the pool. And if you lose this, I feel like it's a major blow to the confidence for the members of Starbound. You go down 4-0, you lose your protected pick in the first set, and suddenly, you're going to want to be picking your own map pool and trying to find wins there, but losing your protected pick is really rough. This is, we talked about, I think, a sneakily good Starbound pick. A couple of very, very good Nomad overlap reading players in Digital Hypno and Nope KJK, as well as kind of the Nomad mains in Araxi and Cappy for the Starbound squad. So I think this is a good pick for them. That's why they protected it in the first place, but still a hard map to win against a roster like WROETOSHAW's.
Yeah, I liked this pick for Starbound because I mentioned the concept of accessible picks. This is something where you're really not going to see the Badoo carry like on the last map, like I think we would see on something like the Pool A Hidden 2. That map is just absolutely insane. I think Starbound is going to be able to field at least 3 confident players on this who are going to be able to get very good scores to match up against the really strong players on WROETOSHAW. But as you mentioned, you're going to be going up against a roster like Bartek, Badoo, Plasma, and then like probably Rudge, who's been that 4th on a lot of these picks. But still, I think this is something where Starbound is going to match up a lot better. Maybe the accuracy difference for WROETOSHAW is going to be a little bit lower on this map, being the lowest star rating map, I think, in all 3 map pools. Yeah, 5.53 stars, AR7, OD 8.7. There should be no accuracy difference on this. It's going to be Crescento to be that 4th for WROETOSHAW, though. Likewise with Cappy on Starbound, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of struggles from them, but Araxi does find an early drop for Starbound. Shouldn't hurt them too much. That break from Digital Hypno will swing it further in favor of WROETOSHAW, though. Only Nope holding all the way out at the beginning.
It's a tough place to be if you are Starbound. I feel like you're really relying on Digital Hypno and Nope KJK to carry this, and with Digital Hypno at 89% act, just really not comfortable on this kind of map. You're now putting all the onus once again on Nope KJK to try and carry this pick, but Bartek, Plasma, Badoo is such a scary 3-person roster on this map. They don't even really need Crescento. I feel like he could sit out and they could just 3v4 because he's struggling. He's struggling a little bit. Araxi and Cappy, though, with similar types of struggles. Digital Hypno not too far behind. There goes Nope KJK, and well, we thought this might be a good pick for Starbound. They thought so as well, but not going to be the case. Everybody dropping for Starbound. Plasma finally finding a miss, but it's Bartek and Badoo still with FCs intact on 99.3% AC for both of these players. just demolition from ROETOSHAW in this first set. You never like to call it halfway through the map, but you can kind of call this one already. They're nearly double score for the side of ROETOSHAW, and nobody on Starbound can play this with any semblance of comfort besides Nope KJK, and he's not even full comboing. There's just no way for a comeback to happen here, even if Bartek and Badu both miss, because you have to expect them to continue to combo even after they miss, and so this one's just over. Early 4-0 victory in the first set of potentially 3 for ROETOSHAW, putting themselves up 1-0 in set score in the best of 3.
And an excellent veteran performance from the 2 long-standing tourney players in the lobby right now for ROETOSHAW, Bartek and Badu. They've just been doing this for years on these reading maps. Just such a strong duo. I think probably you could see them doing this as far back as like 2018 almost. Both of them have been very long-time tourney players in the top scene. I know Bartek mostly emerged as a 4-digit. Badu finally finding the drop, but Bartek still holding 99%. We're going to see if he locks out this FC. Be a very good FC to get. Only a little bit of the map to go, probably around 20 seconds, and he's through that last chorus, so it's going to be a big FC for
Good try. Not quite the full combo for either Badu or Bartek, but Bartek will top score the lobby with a miss right at the end there. Same for Badu, not too far behind, 780k. And, the entire team score for Starbound is 987,000. So Bartek +1 is a 2v4 on that map. And Badu plus either Plasma or Bartek is also a 2v4 on that map. In fact, Plasma plus either Bartek or Badu is a 2v4 on that map. Slice it many different ways, and there's a 2v4 going on for ROETOSHAW there. More than double team score. Bit of a mispick. For Starbound, unfortunately. The comfort level there for Nope KJK and Digital Hypno was not nearly as high as we thought it would be, nor how they thought it would be. So that is going to put an end to the first set. I don't know if we're going to get a break or not in between these 2 sets, but man, that was dominant from ROETOSHAW. There's not a lot to go off of there for Starbound going into this next set. We expect them to probably pick into Pool B. Loser of the first set does pick the pool in the second set. It cannot be the same pool that they just played, so they cannot play Pool C twice. So I don't know, probably Pool B. ROETOSHAW did ban Pool B, and Starbound banned Pool A. Maybe they go into Pool A and try some of the aim control maps there, given how rough a lot of the mechanics picks looked for them. But with ROETOSHAW banning out Pool B, maybe Starbound try and go into that instead. I don't know. This match is kind of playing out a little differently from how we expected it to.
Yeah, ROETOSHAW just taking care of business. This is what you expect from the 3rd seeded team in the tournament by BWS. What you expect from a team aspiring to go far in Corsace Open. Just absolute dominance in that first set. But yeah, as you said, Starbound now with the second pick. I think after that Pool C, which is on paper the most balanced pool of the 3, you have to go and make some spicy decisions here. If you decide to go into Pool A, you're kind of removing, I guess, that option to pick reading, because the reading maps in that pool are going to be, in my opinion, a lot more carryable, a lot more skill cap oriented, skill cap in terms of the reading. But for them, I don't actually have a preference, because Starbound, we expected them to pick or want to play Pool A going into this match, but that ended up being their banned set. So not exactly sure which pool they're going to go for here. I think we might have to start looking at some of the specific maps in this pool.
We did get confirmation they're picking Pool B, so they are just going to go for Pool B, go for the pool that ROETOSHAW banned out in the first set. I think likely to try and pick into some of the speedier mechanics picks in this pool and pick some of the aim control later on, stuff like the Nomad 4, for example, or the Nomad 3 if they're looking for speed. It is going to be the Hidden 2 Protect for Starbound. Even after the Nomad 4 devastation that just occurred, I don't think this is that bad because this is probably the most accessible hidden 2 in the entire knockout stage. Hidden 2 and Knockout C is probably the hardest map in the entire knockout stage, just full stop. Nomad 4, of course, we just saw is very, very tricky. Hidden 2 in Knockout 1A in the A map pool is kind of Yolk's Pie style aim control. This one is just jumps and bursts. It's a Skyflame map, but AR8. So I think very accessible. Nomad 1 protected, of course, for WROETOSHAW after the last pool and what we saw in Nomad 1 and Hard Rock 1 on Pool C. No surprises there. DT1 banned out by Starbound here, and that is an AR 10.4 272 BPM DT aim map. I think a pretty good ban against a team with a lot of very, very good DT aim players like Rudge, Plasma, Bartek, Eternum, Crescento. I think Badu is the only one who would even struggle on that a little bit just due to the speed, not even due to the aim or the high approach rate. So I think good protect and ban from the side of Starbound. It's going to be a DT2 ban from WROETOSHAW, banning out some of the speed stamina in this pool. A little bit of finger control, a little bit of stamina in that map.
Yeah, that DT2, probably the most accessible DT map in all 3 map pools. That map, I think, a lot of the depth players on Starbound are going to be really comfortable on that DT2, so I think it's a good ban for WROETOSHAW. Just getting a potential pick for Starbound out of the way. But first pick, once again, is going to be WROETOSHAW's, and of which I think they have a little bit less to work with on this pool in terms of raw aim. They protected the Nomad 1, which is probably the only map in this pool you could really consider as pure raw aim. I think next to that, you have like HR1 in this pool being mech tech. You have HD1 being more alt awkward aim.
I have to laugh because you called that mech tech, and in the map pool notes that Half Slashed gave us, one of the bullet points there for Hard Rock 1 is Miles always calls this style of map mech tech with a bunch
and it is. It is. That is what it is. It's mechanics tech, aim, kick slider jumps, not really any like variable spacing. It is no aim control. It's gonna be their first pick, actually, so we get to see the mech tech for WROETOSHAW.
Okay, but Miles, I have a theory for you. I have a theory. What year did you start playing OSUB?
2015, sir.
2015. Okay. My theory is if you started playing this game before like 2017, 2018, when we saw a lot of more difficult tech maps start to make their way into the mapping scene, I think you consider stuff like this Hard Rock 1 more tech focused than mechanics focused. And if you started playing after like 2018, you call this mostly a mechanics map with some light tech elements. And I feel like that's where the disconnect comes from. Obviously, tech players are going to call this just like a mechanics map, right? Because it's not all that techy. It's got some space triples, it's got some awkward aim, it's got some slider aim, but at its core, this is mostly jumps, but does still have some of those tech elements like we've been talking about. I'm the same way, by the way, Miles. I started playing in 2014. This is a tech map, all right? It's a tech map. Back when I started playing, this is a hard tech map. This is the techiest of tech. Not the case anymore, but new gen players and tech players nowadays built kind of different. This is just a mechanics map to a lot of players, but an aim map nonetheless, and WROETOSHAW I think is going to be very good on it.
The concept behind mech tech, at least in my mind when I started using that term a lot, was any map that was similar in style to something like Suki Nathan's map of Dynamite, if you remember that. Lots of wubs, lots of kick slider jumps, and I think you could almost attribute it more to the song than the actual map. The wubs mean a lot for mech tech, that's all I'm gonna say.
The vast majority of USAO maps fall under this category, if you're wondering.
Yeah, pretty much. Things like extra mode, if it's got kick slider jumps and not too many like difficult reading or aim control patterns, you can pretty much call it mech tech. Especially if it's above 200 BPM, then it's a plus. Which is why I think this map is very mech techy. 205 BPM, kick slider jumps, aim, and streams.
A couple early breaks here for Jackson and Mlaw on the side of Starbound. Very early breaks for Eternum and Badu there. Matched by Jackson. Eternum also missing right at the start of the map. It's Crescento and Rudge with full combos left for WROETOSHAW. Just Digital Hypno with the full combo left for Starbound is Cappy finding a miss on the back and forth slider there. Again, you can see a lot of this really awkward aim. Lots of wide angle jumps and lots of anti-aim, lots of linears in this map as well. It can be really uncomfortable to aim some of these, even if they were just jumps. You add on to the fact that it's a lot of slide jumps, and it makes it even more difficult. Another break now comes through for Cappy, Digital Hypno, and M-Law to break as well. It's just Rudge and Crescento on the side of ROETOSHAW, and Badu and Eternum still holding strong with the FCs intact. Jackson is not too far behind. He's still got over 300 combo, very, very close to an FC, but this is still a 120,000 score lead for ROETOSHAW at the first break here, a third of the way through. Very, very solid start for this team as Badu and Eternum continue to hold on to these pretty nice combos.
But once again, we're seeing the accuracy lead for ROETOSHAW make up a lot of this score difference. Look at their accuracies, 96, 96, 97, almost 98 on two of their players, up against STARBOUND's accuracies, 96, 95, 95, and another 95 roughly. That accuracy difference for a 200k score lead, I would say roughly 50k of that is going to be based on the accuracy. But the breaks are starting to come in once again. Oh, Cappy, Digital Hypno, M-Law, all breaking on that stream, and Jackson not with enough combo to really make a difference. It's going to be, yet again, a successful first pick for ROETOSHAW.
Unfortunately, Miles is getting buried the longer he talks, but successful first pick for ROETOSHAW sums it up here. Badu and Eternum will eventually break here, but Rudge still has combo. Everyone on Starbound resetting, and it is a 360,000 score lead and climbing for the higher seeded team. This is a close matchup in terms of the qualifier seeding. It is seed 7 on the left versus seed 10 on the right. So you don't expect these types of close seeding matchups to feel this one-sided, but so far it is 5-0 in the map score for ROETOSHAW and 1-0 on the set score. Starbound, yes, they have second pick, but a lot of the picks for ROETOSHAW that we have seen have been very one-sided, and Starbound has only managed to really contest one pick in the first two sets so far. I'm hoping that we see them win this next pick, build some confidence, build a way into this match, because if they're not able to do so here, they're probably once again staring down the barrel of a 3-0 7th seed over them, looking to advance cleanly into the next round of the knockout stage. And again, this is single elimination. If you drop a match in the knockout stage, you are out of the tournament entirely. There is no second chance. There is no loser's bracket. You're just out. So Starbound, if they want to continue their way in this tournament, need to find a successful pick here against ROETOSHAW with their first pick in set number 2. ROETOSHAW up 1-0 after a very, very convincing Hard Rock 1 once again.
Now for Starbound, once again, I will propose to them the strategy of picking your protected pick first. And hearing it, it sounds like they did pick that Hidden 2 instantly. Before we went to the lobby music, I heard that Hatsune Miku already. Yeah. Sounds like the Hidden 2 is going to be coming out for Starbound. And of this, I think it's the same theory as protecting the Nomad 4 in Pool C, where you have a reading map where you're going to be able to theoretically put 3 comfortable players at the very least in the lobby, and you hope that players like Nope are going to be able to equalize players like Plasma or Badu, and Digital Hypno as well, but I think the strong players on Starbound have yet to really activate in this matchup. We haven't seen any real big performances from them, and I think on a map like this, we're really going to need to see it from Nope or Digital Hypno.
Yeah, Nope and Digital Hypno, like you call out, I think need to put up some carry scores here. Luckily for Starbound, this is by far the most accessible low approach rate map in the pool. That's saying a lot, given that it's still over 6 stars and AR8, but it is the most accessible. It's a relatively low star rating, relatively low intensity, very low complexity style of AR8 that you used to see a couple of years ago before the tournament scene started building into a lot of the really tricky overlaps and spacing changes and aim control that you tend to see in a lot of, for example, Yolks Pie style or Panic style low approach rate maps. Before the rise of Pudding Funfair, let's call it. Before the rise of Pudding Funfair, this was kind of the standard. And I think that standard's a lot easier for Starbound to capitalize on against ROETOSHAW than any of the other low approach rate hidden picks or low approach rate picks in general that we've seen in this map pool, especially given that their fill player for this is probably Cappy, who, yes, can play hidden, but is a Nomad main, not a hidden main, not a reading main. So I think it's going to do a lot of good for them.
A little bit of lore about this map. This map actually used to be in the round robin pool, and it was just way too difficult. It got bumped all the way up here to knockout 1, where I think it's pretty good in difficulty. Yep, same rosters for both sides as the reading map in knockout 3, or in knockout C, I meant. And at the beginning, relatively high comfort from all these players. Nope, KJK gonna find the first drop. But we haven't yet reached any of the difficult chorus sections of this map. Araxi and Cappy gonna find a drop though on that build-up, and that is not what you want to see for Starbound. Plasma's gonna trade it, but still 3 FCs alive in the first chorus for WROETOSHAW, and it's Digital Hypno alone trying to pick up the pieces with Nope on 140 combo on the side of Starbound. There goes Crescento, chain missing a lot, but still Badu and Bartek, once again, that veteran reading duo pushing the score lead forward for WROETOSHAW.
They're going to have some resistance, though. Crescento, once again, finding the drop. Araxe will trade it for Starbound. So that will give a little bit of a lead back over to WROETOSHAW. But there goes Bartek, actually, missing at the very end of the first KI time. It's now 1 full combo to 1. Digital Hypno matching Badu with Nope KJK on the best other combo in the lobby, and Cappy matching Plasma on about 300 combo right now. So combo lead, really for the first time this match in any significant way, on the side of Starbound. Digital Hypno is going to find a slider break on the slider jumps as I say that, but Cappy and Nope KJK are still on very good combo right now. It's still extremely close, but ever so slowly moving back the way of WROETOSHAW with this slight combo lead that they have. Bartek on a little bit of a supporting combo as well compared to Araxi. Crescento is going to chain miss and match Araxi's breaks there, but it is still that combo lead. Bartek drops again. So now, supporting combo back the way of Starbound ever so slightly. Huge drop for Cappy, though. Araxi will match it as well, and even though Crescento's going to miss there, it's just not going to matter. Nope, KJK alone is not enough to win this pick. They need the drop from Badu to come through, and that is a tall ask of one of the best reading players in the tournament scene.
And there goes Nope, finally dropping that big combo, and I was about to say, asking Badu to break on a map like this is maybe the worst ask you can have in the entire tournament scene. This guy is just so consistent on the style of map. It looks like we have a disconnect coming out from Araxe, or that's just Bancho. Sounds, yeah, looks like it was just Bancho. He's getting that client reset going, but yeah, nevertheless, Badu looks like he's gonna lock out the FC, hopefully not choking at the end, but WROETOSHAW once again just flexing their muscles on the Starbound team. Badu doing typical Badu things on the hidden 2, and WROETOSHAW gonna be getting their 6th straight map win.
You lose that protect twice in a row. You lose your first pick twice in a row. You lose 6 maps in a row from start to finish in this match so far. Gotta be rough for the side of Starbound right now. And honestly, not a bad team score. Like, 2 500k is a 600k from Nope KJK. Yeah, Araxi's having some trouble on the map. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. But those are pretty good scores overall. Even if Araxi is up at 500k, it's still not enough. The FC from Badu and 700k from Plasma is more than enough to gap, I think, most teams on this pool. 2.5 million team score on a 6.5 star AR8 map is really incredible. Very, very good team score from WROETOSHAW. And I think it's like you said, more so flexing the muscles from WROETOSHAW than an underperformance or a bad score from Starbound, because those scores are still pretty good from Starbound. They're just not good enough. And WROETOSHAW is now looking to continue this trend of dominance and overperformance. Maybe not even overperformance, just winning strongly on every single pick so far. Maybe just going with the Nomad 1 here. Trade Protect wins and get 2 wins of your own with the breakpoint. If they don't go for that, I'm interested to see what they actually do want to pick in this match. They've been avoiding the speed. They banned out the double time 2, so I kind of expect the next pick from Starbound to be that Nomad 3, the only other speed map in this pool, really. They could go for something like the Hard Rock 2, which is more ult-focused, more aim control focused, a little bit reading focused, and a little bit lower circle size because of that at CS 6.1. Aside from those, I feel like you don't want to pick the Nomad 2 if you are WROETOSHAW. It's something very different and outside of what has already really been picked in this match. So you don't want to give kind of an inroad with a free pick to Starbound. And it is going to be just the Nomad 1, not revealing anything for WROETOSHAW and an expected dominant win once again with the No Mod 1 pick here.
No Mod 1, similarly to the one in Pool C, this is going to be a little bit more on the standard side compared to the No Mod 1s that we all know and love. This one's going to be mapped by Alden, so similar style to some of his other AIM maps, like think We Are Japanese Goblin, the loved map. But yeah, once again, I think this is just going to be a great pick from WROETOSHAW. And I think we're kind of seeing a trend in this match where we're really seeing the difference between the top-seeded teams and the mid-seeded teams when you put them against each other in tournaments. It's not like a bad performance from STARBOUND by any means, but WROETOSHAW just being the 3rd seed, 6 top-level tourney players, got experience and versatility all across the board. And it's just them doing, I think, what's expected of them in this matchup.
Yeah, much bigger gap between 7th seed and 10th seed than you would usually expect, and I think part of it is due to the star rating of this pool. Usually 7th seed versus 10th seed, you see a matchup on round of 16 in the winner's bracket, which is very early on in most tournaments, still relatively low star rating in most tournaments. Here, the average star rating in the knockout pool is like 7.3 stars or something like that. And that's including all the low AR picks. You've got 8-star speed maps. You've got high 7-star aim maps in this pool. It's very difficult. And so compared to when you would usually see this matchup in a typical tournament in round of 16, the star rating scaling advantage, I think, is starting to rear its ugly head for some of the middle-seeded teams. And like you said, that's why you're starting to see these bigger gaps between the top-seeded teams in the tournament and the middle-seeded teams, because of that star rating difference compared to where you would usually see these teams face off. And you kind of covered it with this No Mod 1. A little awkward, a little pattern aim focused, but still a straight up aim map and something that's very, very good for WROETOSHAW. Eternum, Plasma, Crescento, and Badu in for this one. Cappy, Jackson, Nope, KJK, Digital Hypno in for STARBOUND to try and take a break point against this team that has just been gapping them on basically everything so far. Early break for Nope KJK, not going to bode super well into the first KI time, and Jackson to find a miss as well. 4 full combos to 2 already at the start of the map, 1 quarter in.
And Digital Hypno to find another break is not going to bode well for STARBOUND once again. Plasma does trade that drop, but still 3 full combos on the side of WROETOSHAW, about to get through that first chorus. Crescento does find the drop beforehand, though. So you've got the big combo from Cappy and the supporting combo from Nope KJK on the side of STARBOUND to try to pick up the pieces. But still 2 FCs on the side of WROETOSHAW's. Not going to bode well for STARBOUND once again.
I feel like they really need this point. If you lose a break point early on in the set and you give over this pick, it's match point. You have to win 4 in a row, and it's set point also. So it would be entirely match point for WROETOSHAW. They would only have to win 1 map, and they would win this entire match, move on to the next part of the knockout stage in the quarterfinals, and knock STARBOUND out of the tournament entirely. Another miss to come through for Jackson and Cappy there, as now it's just Nope KJK and Digital Hypno. There goes Nope. Digital Hypno on some combo, but Plasma and Crescento are matching it. There goes Plasma. He's Crescento to match, but the elephant in the room is Badu and Eternum, the Romanian duo for the squad, on the 2-way FC on this No Mod 1. Absolutely demolishing it, and there's not any room for error right now for STARBOUND. They would have to hold as many combos as possible and pray for misses to come through for the 2 Romanian players on the WROETOSHAW squad. Again, not really something you want to be asking of these 2 players, as both of them are extremely strong mechanics players on aim in particular. Eternum, maybe more so known for the streams and the speed, but still very, very good on aim consistency as well. And even with the misses from Plasma, it's just not going to matter. Crescento's on 700 combo, matching Digital Hypno, and Badu and Eternum are continuing to pop off on every aim map this pool and this stage has thrown at them. No problems whatsoever for WROETOSHAW, up over 800,000 points, and an extremely convincing protected pick for WROETOSHAW after taking a break point once again on the protected pick from STARBOUND.
The Romanians are going into the ending. Eternum does break, but Badu, man, into the final squares. Is he gonna hold on to this FC? And it looks like he does. Badu holding on to the FC in the ending. Don't break here, please. He does. Okay. ROETOSHAW winning by 1,000,000 score on Nomad. That is absolutely insane. And now I have to make the proposition that Badoo is the best Corsace Open player we've ever seen. I feel like every single year this guy comes in and he never gets any worse. Always just pulling his teams forward, locking in FC after FC on different skill sets, and once again, showing why he's been one of the premier tourney players for so long.
Yeah, one Corsace Open 2020, one Corsace Open 2021, and was second place in Corsace Open last year in 2022, only due to the MREC phenomenon last year in Grand Finals, where we had an extremely difficult map pool, and MREC was kind of crushing everyone on it. And of course, Kriller on the tiebreaker in Grand Finals bracket reset. Who could forget? So despite that, you got a pretty strong argument going there for Badoo being one of the best, if not the best players in Corsace Open that we've seen over the last 4 years or so. And Starbound is hard pressed to actually win against this guy, because it's really hard to win against a team with this kind of roster, with this kind of difference in average rank between the two teams. Even if you just look at BWS, it's an almost 10 times rank difference, and relatively similar for raw rank as well. Average 85 for ROETOSHAW compared to average over 5.
Oh, this map.
Starbound. It's going to be the Nomad 4 pick now for Starbound to try to find any win in this match. If they lose any maps now, they are out of the tournament. They need to win 4 in a row and move on to set 2 in order to have a chance to continue to play in the Corsace Open this year. And they're going to try it with this Nomad 4.
This is, in my opinion, one of the spiciest maps we have in all 3 of these pools. It's 170 BPM, so low BPM stream range, but it plays like an alt map at 260. The aim control on this, I mentioned it in Pool C when they played the other Defiance map. This Defiance map is also just chock full of aim control. And it's one of those maps where, once again, I'm going to be looking at Badoo on ROETOSHAW to put up a massive score, and also looking at Digital Hypno to put up a score worth carrying for Starbound, but their back is up against the wall, down virtually 7-0 in the matchup, looking to get their first point on the board here with their maybe dying breath. Could be a long-lasting dying breath if they can continue here, but being down 7-0 is not a very good situation for them.
I was going to say, you have to have some major cojones to pick this into Badoo. This is like, this is aim control on steroids. Like you said, 174 BPM actually, but plays like an alt map. I feel like this is actually good as a pick, though. Like, okay, sure, ROETOSHAW bans out the double time 2. Maybe you pick the speed map in Nomad 3, but there's not any other speed in the rest of the pool. And so you'd have to dip into the aim control anyway, right? Look at the rest of the maps in this pool. You've got Nomad 2, which is tech streams at 180 BPM, relatively similar, but less spacing than this. You've got Hidden 1, which is relatively similar. It's another alt map. You've got Hard Rock 2, which is, again, 130 BPM, alt BPM. If you win this as Starbound, you have pick of the litter for what type of map you want to go for next. Do you want to dip into speed, which your opponent banned, or do you want to dip into more aim control, which you have already won? So if you lose here, you probably lost the match anyway at some other point later on. And if you win here, you have a very good strategy going into the rest of the match. That said, it's tough to win this. Nope, KJK is the only one with combo left for Starbound already. Everyone breaking everywhere. Bartek broke at the beginning of the map, so that's not even a full combo. There goes Nope KJK on the slider break. Rudge will also break. It's just Bartek now with any combo for any team. He drops as well. Badoo is left with about 200 combo as the max combo in the whole lobby, as everyone breaks everywhere aside from Badoo. Nobody else over 100 combo right now, and Badoo. What are you saying about this guy being a really good Corsace Open player, Miles?
Yeah, he is. You know,
yeah.
Corsace has a lot of aim control maps, and you're pretty happy if you have the best aim control player you've ever freaking seen in the game on your team. But yeah, this is the type of map that it takes to get a 6.5 on the 4 scale, by the way. This map is crazy. Everyone is struggling right now, except for the guy in the bottom left middle of the screen, Badoo. Going insane, 215k score difference already in favor of ROETOSHAW, and Looks like we might already be saying goodbye to Starbound. I don't like to call it this early, but nope, KJK, the only one holding any semblance of combo, but he's up against the man right now, the boogeyman of this matchup, Badu. Once again, the only one with combo, and nope, KJK breaks, so looks like Badu. Once again, you can't say enough about this guy.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do, right? He's on 780 combo almost, 370, 380k and climbing. The next best score in the whole lobby is 270k from Nope KJK, down 150,000 score and climbing compared to Badu right now, who is just beast moding it. He finds a slider break on a random slider, not even a hard pattern. Just a super high velocity slider starting at the top of the screen, and he finds the slider break there, but it just does not matter. 470, 480k, and maybe up to 500k by the end of the map here for Badu. 500,000 score lead for WROETOSHAW, and a double 4-0 clean 2-0 sweep for the 7th seeded team in this matchup.
GG, well played, WROETOSHAW. Just once again flexing their muscles. Starbound, unfortunately, going to be eliminated at this stage of Corsace Open, and WROETOSHAW is going to be going up against No Title tomorrow, which is another team that very dominantly defeated their matchup today against Swaglords. So that should be a really good matchup to watch.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid match there from WROETOSHAW. What else can you say? I mean, we talked about it on some of the picks for Starbound, right? I don't think that Starbound necessarily had bad scores on their own picks. It was just a matter of WROETOSHAW completely outperforming them with zero troubles whatsoever. And WROETOSHAW is going to advance completely cleanly alongside No Title into the quarterfinals of the knockout stage. No Title in qualifiers was the number 2 seeded team, so you're going to see seed 2 versus seed 7 on a 7.2 or 7.3 star average star rating pool tomorrow. Going to be a good matchup. That is all for us for today. So just again to keep track of the standings here, you have Flipinski advancing into the quarterfinals, all G8 Bros advancing, Titan Hollow advancing, Ramsing advancing, No Title advancing, WROETOSHAW advancing, and the Roundtable HK advancing. Every single team which was top seeded out of qualifiers into the top 8 has advanced into the quarterfinals. So something to be said about very difficult pools and qualifiers correctly predicting them. We do have one match left very late tonight, early tomorrow morning. That is Le Fish versus Blue Pants, our last round of 16 matchup in the Knockout 1 stage. That is at 2 UTC Sunday. You can find the rest of the schedule on the website, but I believe our first match tomorrow, assuming that Le Fish wins, will be at 14 UTC, starting off with No Title versus WROETOSHAW in the quarterfinals. So keep a lookout for that matchup. And from all of us here at the Corsace Open, thank you very much for watching. Congratulations again to WROETOSHAW for winning this matchup. And we'll see you all at 2 UTC for Le Fish featuring Cookiesy versus Blue Pants in about 7 hours.